Well, a warm welcome to you all. I'm JJ. I'm a life coach and I eat mostly meat.
I'm Eric. I'm a novelist and I eat beef and eggs and coffee.
And we have been eating this way, the carnivore diet, pretty much for 2 years now. It's our 2-year anniversary.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's kind of amazing with some vacations. More for me than I think you. I think you've been way more consistent.
I've got consistency in my favor, but I do have a salad.
That's
sometimes.
true. Yeah.
So
that's like, whoa.
I know.
Your big transgression. Although, as we talked about in our last video, it's possible that is held back some of the results you're trying to get.
It's possible.
So we'll be interested to see how you do if you continue to eat salads or not.
Yeah, we will see. So let's talk about, especially this past year, because it's been a big year for us as far as carnivore goes.
Okay, I'm excited to do it.
All right.
What's happened this past year?
So in the last 12 months of carnivore, do you know your weight loss in the past 12 months?
No.
I didn't think you did. I checked before the video. So I have lost 9 pounds in this last 12 months of the carnivore journey. And how about your body recomp?
Well, I actually do know that I've lost at least 10 pounds this year because when we started this channel, I had been kind of hovering in the mid 180s.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And now I'm 174. So,
which is awesome.
Yeah.
Now, I do want you to talk about body recomp because you have been in the low 170s previous to this, previous to the carnivore diet.
Yeah.
But your body was not looking like this. As a matter of fact, you'd get a little scrawny looking to me.
Yeah, I would look scrawnier. And I was certainly, even though my weight was lower, I had lost mostly muscle mass on those excursions down into the 170s in my adult life because I had done it through calorie restriction for the most part.
Yeah.
Sometimes with keto, but it was a kind of a low protein keto.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying here that I'm some sort of Charles Atlas. But nobody knows who Charles Atlas is. I'm no. Well, Arnold Schwarzenegger people would know. Obviously, I'm not Arnold Schwarzenegger.
No.
Yeah, I'm best body comp of my life.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. At least I've known you a long time.
She's touching my arm.
Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah. This is crazy. And for me, one of the things I've noticed with body recomposition, and I know he can't talk about this because that's a dangerous area for a husband to go.
I don't even know what you're going to say, and I'm nervous.
Almost anything with body recomp is dangerous. But for me, my shape has changed tremendously in that I have always had muscular thighs, and so thicker thighs and a thicker booty, and that has changed with this. And I haven't lost everything. Don't get me wrong. I'm not scrawny down there, but I don't know if I've ever been this lean in my lower half. And that's where he gets in trouble. He can't be talking about how lean my lower half has been before.
That's true. And I've known you since you were 15.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was not a big teenager at all, but that is different. And muscle definition is like I've never seen before. It's just wild to me. So yeah, I think I've gotten much leaner, and yeah, muscle definition is great. So,
do you think that your physical fitness has improved due to this change?
I would say yes, it has. Now, I suffered from exercise intolerance previously for a big chunk of my adult life, like since my 30s. So I don't know, maybe 15, 20 years. And now I can be very active all the time. And you've seen me, around the property, I can chuck logs and stuff. Oh, remember when I used to have issues like opening some doors that were too heavy and stuff, right? Not a problem anymore. And everyone assumes that I work out a ton. Like everyone in real life is like, oh, you must really work out. Even my doctor said that at my last visit here. And truth is, not so much. But I am incredibly active, and I do some some exercise here and there.
Yeah. You've never been somebody who's idle that much.
No.
But I think your endurance and strength is up. I remember, we haven't done this in a while, but if we would go on like a holiday someplace where we had to do a hike up a hill, your way of getting up the hill was to put your hands on your hips and kind of lean forward and try to chug up the hill.
That's true.
I don't think you do that anymore.
I don't think I do. No.
It was a technique. We even talked about it. You're like, this is how I do it.
Always, yes. So that's a little bit about our body recomp, our weight. How about any health benefits? Have you noticed any health benefits, like specifically this year?
This year?
This year.
Well, since my carnivore has refined a lot this year, I would say that my gut and reflux issues have, continued to be better. Because earlier this year, I still had, and I didn't even realize it, had kind of a remaining kind of spot that was a little bit kind of achy and sore. And that has resolved when I really tightened things down earlier this year. And it was one of those things where it was so part of my normal life that I didn't even kind of notice it anymore. And then one day I'm like, wait a minute, that thing that happens every morning isn't happening. So that was kind of interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Now for me, I feel pretty consistent from year one carnivore, but you pointed out to me that my trick ankle is better. So I think that's resolved quite a bit this year. Every now and then it still goes out. I was in a car accident, sprained my ankle, issues with the tendon slipping, and it is so much better. And I think a lot of that has been in this last year.
I've had all kinds of nagging problems that recur, like my low back. And my low back gets stiff occasionally if I'm doing a lot of bent over work outside or something. But I haven't had one of those spasms that lays me flat since starting carnivore.
No. Thank goodness.
Then, like a month ago when I was assembling that trailer, I was lifting things really weird and I injured this shoulder, but it's healing. Where in the past, it would have just lingered for 6 months or a year. And I think it's just because I'm feeding it all of the nutrients it needs to recover.
And when an injury lingers for that long, especially at this age, it moves us into inactivity, and that is not great.
No, because that starts the spiral of sedentary, makes you feel worse, so then you don't want to move, and then you want to rest, and then you can't rest yourself into vigor.
No. So let's talk about some of the highlights of this last year, too.
Okay,
because
let's do that.
we've done some things. We've ventured out of our comfort zone with carnivore and done a few things like start this whole YouTube channel.
That's right. Well, technically, we started it late December,
which is in the last 12
that's right.
months.
Yeah, that's true. I get what you're saying.
Yep.
Yeah, we started this channel, which is definitely outside the comfort level.
Yeah, and we committed to doing it for at least a year. So you've got till December, and then we don't know what's going to happen. We could go dark.
Yeah, that's very possible.
So we did that, and early in this 2024, we took a cruise, which we've done before. But this one, we decided that we were going to do carnivore on this cruise.
Yeah, and it was
with a few, I should say ketovore, because we did have some salads.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It was successful in the attempt, but the food on board was not, that was carnivore compliant, had some mystery toxins in it or something, because I came back feeling lousy.
But we did a good job.
Actually, even specific meals like the pork belly and stuff left me going, ugh. But it was all the buffet food, and their buffet was just not that fresh.
Yeah, we did stick mostly to the buffet.
Yeah.
We did eat in the steakhouse. I think that was pretty decent, if I'm remembering correctly.
Oh, I'd forgotten about that. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah. But mostly the buffet, and that was It was, like you said, it was fine. It varied. They had a really good They did not have a carving station every time, I don't think, which I thought they would. But when they did, that was pretty good too. But yeah, who knows? Who knows what
the stuff that was in the metal pans in the buffet was,
Yeah. But I think that is a huge victory to go on a cruise.
Yeah.
And not just eat from start to finish all the good things that are there.
Well, you know how I've been on, vacations in general, but cruises were for me like a holiday where, it's vacation. So I'm going to indulge, and I don't drink. So my indulgence would be sweets. And eventually we'd get to like, oh, it's time for dinner again. And I would still be like, have indigestion from the previous night. And I would eventually have to just skip a meal because I felt so gross.
I did some fasting on 1 or 2 cruises previously. Let me back up. Not fasting, like IF, intermittent fasting. So I'd have my eating window, and that really helped me modulate my food previously. But this was interesting going on a cruise and sticking to mostly meat. It was good.
So what else did we do this year?
Well, we were interviewed this year.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
By Dave Mack.
That was really interesting.
Yeah.
And it brought a lot of new viewers to our channel as well. It did. Because that went over well on his channel, and we need to reach out and see if he wants to show up here.
Yeah, we had a good time doing that. It was really fun, and we so appreciated that opportunity. It was great.
Yeah, it was a little surreal because, you watch all of these channels and then all of a sudden you're on it. It was kind of like, how did I get here?
Yeah.
Kind of a thing. We also did our first interview on the channel.
Yes, we did.
Which has been our biggest video by far.
Oh my gosh. It was with Amanda Radke. And she is, you know her bio better than I do, but she is a third generation? Sixth generation. Geez. Cattle rancher.
Yep. And also a carnivore for 12 years.
Yes. She's one of the old school carnivores. Holy cow.
We learned so much about the beef industry and the challenges that it faces. We still get comments on that video because she's just so good. And her story and explanations are just really compelling.
I keep learning more and more about the proper human diet through, and retaining more and more. But I would say that interview with her is the most that I've learned since in this past 12 months. And it was mostly, like you said, it was about the cattle industry, and it just, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, yeah.
Well, and I just want to hat tip to the Carnitarian on whose channel I saw Amanda, and I reached out because I needed to talk to Amanda a lot more.
It was a fabulous, fabulous interview. Yeah, I was just blown away. We covered so many topics. Yeah. Now, you are a known introvert.
It is known.
I was just watching a Carrie Homestead How video with Jen and Carrie. And did you know he says he used to be an introvert?
No, I must have missed that.
He said that he bought his homestead so that he could be away from people and not ever see anyone. Is that hard to imagine?
It's very hard to imagine since he sees everybody and talks to everybody all the time and hosts meetups.
Yes. Now, you haven't hit the level of Carrie Mann.
No.
But we did do 2 meetups this year.
We did.
Yeah. And so you came out of the shell and we connected with some carnivores.
It talked to people in real life.
Yes.
It helped that they were carnivores because, you have that in common. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I did that.
Yeah. So the first one was in Thiensville with JT and with Carrie. It was great to meet them and the others, like Audra, who was there. And remember, we got out of the car and someone recognized us?
That was really weird and fun.
Yes. Yep. Weird and fun. And then we also went...
Oh, wait,
what?
We were talking to Carrie there, and he kept looking at his phone and going, I know you guys.
That's true.
And we were like, yeah, we have a YouTube channel. He's like, I've been watching your channel. So that was surreal as well.
That is true. That is true. Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
And then we went to, what was it, Illinois? There was a meetup?
Yep, we went to Illinois.
That was the auction and Carnivore Meetup.
Yeah. We went there. Bid on Beef was going to be there.
Yeah.
And actually was there. Not just going to be, but was. And so, yeah, we got to witness the auction, the live auction first, and then the Bid on Beef auction. And we had several tables of carnivores there, which was great. It was hard to socialize there.
It was loud.
Because it was the auction was loud. Imagine that. But we did meet Karen Miles there too,
Yep,
which she's well known in the carnivore community.
She's very active on Instagram, and she keeps like a contact list of all the carnivores that she meets. She knows everything.
Yes. Yeah.
And Amanda Radke was there because Bid on Beef was there, and she was part of that because they were doing a live auction that day. Typically, they're not live in-person auctions. They're like an online live auction. And that was pretty interesting to watch as well.
I really enjoyed that. So yeah, we got out of our
I think it was Ginger who was there, got some amazing deals on that Bid on Beef auction.
Oh yeah. Good job pulling that name out. Yes, Ginger.
It's easy for me to remember the name Ginger for some reason.
Well, is it
the movie star?
The movie star, yeah. So as you look back over this past year, what would you say maybe was your biggest challenge with carnivore?
As we touched on in our tiptoe in or plunge in, it was I did not plunge enough. And that means I did not eliminate artificial sweeteners early enough. And I probably should have gotten rid of dairy and kept it out way earlier. I'm sorry for burping. I just ate a huge steak before this. So I would say that my challenge was that kept my kind of carby life stimulated. And that would have been easier to just get rid of it and not have those flavors.
I would say my biggest challenge was with our move.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah. With our move, and I went off plan completely the day our dog died.
Yeah.
Again, not beating myself up, but it was very interesting to see the ramifications of that as far as mood goes. And I think all of our restaurant eating during the transition created some mood issues too. So I think that was my biggest challenge. I'd like to say that I would do better in the future, or that I wish I could go back and do better. But I mean, that's just the capacity I had. I don't know if I could have actually done better, but that was the biggest challenge for me, I would say.
Yeah, that was tough. And when you're grieving over a loss, you know, it's harder to override. It's harder to generate the willpower to override that craving or that seeking that comfort food. But I think what was good about it was that was a one-day thing.
Yes.
And it easily, for me in the past, would have become a 1 month, and all of a sudden it would have been 1 year.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I would have watched the scale go way back up to where it used to be. And all of the other issues would have come back. And I've been like, why do I feel so terrible? And then I would go, well, it's because you've just eaten crap for a solid year.
Well, and as you always say, carnivore is kind of self-correcting.
Yeah, because once you taste what it's like, not the food, once you taste what it's like to feel good, and then you go back to feeling how you used to feel, you're like, wait a minute, I want to feel good and not bad.
Yeah. And
the momentary pleasure of those comfort foods does not give me the same kind of feel good. It's a high with a very quick dropout, whereas carnivore is a very consistent feeling much better.
Yeah, that contrast is so stark. Holy cow. So looking back over the 12 months, so back to last fall before, your birthday's in the fall.
Yep.
So what would you say is your biggest win?
Well, we did talk about the 10 pounds that I've lost, which I think is a big win. I think I'm going to find the victory in the error, because you're right that the move did create a little bit more variability in the diet. I don't feel like you didn't go anywhere close to totally off plan.
No, we didn't go off the rails.
Basically, we just went keto.
And a lot of restaurant
and a lot of restaurant food. But even by saying going keto, it's like, yeah, we had the salads.
Yeah. Ooh.
I think that the victory is that we got through all of that disruptive life stuff relatively intact. We didn't go completely off plan with it. Mm-hmm. And we had the skill to course correct once we realized, like, for you, your mood was not where I was used to it.
No, it's
at all. It was very unusual.
Yeah.
And I wasn't feeling as good as I wanted to. So having the skill to say, okay, this isn't what we want to continue. What we need to do is do what we talk about on our channel and start getting rid of the wrong inputs into the system. And it works.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was going to say pretty much the consistency is the big win for me as well. I mean, we have never done anything that has lasted 2 years as far as diet or health goes.
I have an opinion about why that is.
Why?
Because it is so easy to comply with the rules.
That's true.
If you are going to do a diet plan, I don't know, maybe it's South Beach or Mediterranean or something where when you read it, it's like, okay, here's all of the different foods that you can eat. And then you got to prepare veggies alongside of some salmon and maybe a little side of rice or something. It's too much work. And it's also too hard to have just the tiny little serving of rice when all of a sudden it becomes, I've got a giant mound of rice and a piece of salmon this big.
It looks like a quarter cup.
It's like I ate 2 florets of broccoli. How come I'm not losing weight? And it's like, well, because you're so starving, you went to Starbucks and got a venti pumpkin spice latte every day this week. And those calories are invisible because you drink them.
Yeah.
It's just, and the more I have eliminated foods, the easier it has gotten to be compliant. Now, does that mean that every meal I'm like, all right, I'm ready for another steak? Well, no, because sometimes I'm just not that hungry. And I'm getting to that point where I'm like, maybe I should skip that meal.
It's been interesting because you have been eating a decent amount. I'm not going to say gorging, you haven't been overeating by any means, but you've been packing down the steaks. And yeah, I've noticed too, the last few days, you seem to be just naturally be like, yeah, I don't need 2 steaks at this meal.
And when my love for steak rekindled out of nowhere, all of a sudden, I was starving and I was eating those things like a starving lion.
Yeah.
And I just think that my body was like, okay, here we go. Let's get on board all the nutrients that you've been missing because you've been trying to stuff your face with these hamburger patties that are barely palatable. And I got past that and all of a sudden it was all, but then that kind of plateaued. And then I got to where I'm moderating a little bit. And I feel generally pretty good. Sleep has been way better. And
that was huge this year. Holy cow.
That was
a big win.
Because of stopping eating early. So no late meals, and I've slept better than I have in decades.
But hold on. No late meals. Some of you out there are like, oh yeah, I shut my window or I have my last thing at 8:00. No. Late meals for us was being done by 6:30.
Yeah, that's way too close to bedtime.
We never ate late.
Yeah. And now it's like last night we ate late and that was after 4:00, but before 5, right?
Yes.
I want to say.
Yep.
And
we were done at 5.
I was like, ooh, this is pushing it.
Yeah, but you have decades of sleep issues.
Yeah.
So it's so much better. Yeah. Yeah. I love what you say about the ease, the simplicity. It feels so diving into carnivore can feel so challenging, so restrictive. Like, how am I going to do this forever for the rest of my life? But like you said, it's just so easy. It's so simple, and we get to learn our body cues. And so we follow our body cues and we eat meat.
That's right. Did you do your biggest win?
My biggest win was also the consistency.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it was kind of lame, but that's what I've got. I mean, again, it's great. My body comp is changing. Like, I love the physical effects, both non-scale and scale. And it really is about the consistency.
So when people say that carnivore is an extreme diet that you can't comply with long term, that is false.
Very false.
It's the easiest diet I've ever done to comply with long term. And that doesn't mean it's that we're infallible, the way that some carnivores on socials seem to be. But wow, I would rather be where I'm at right now with all of the little slips that I had during the year than if I had just not done it.
Yeah.
So I think it's a win.
Yeah. Congratulations. 2 years.
Congratulations to you. And I suppose congratulations to you guys, because you've been able to view us and we've given you hours and hours and hours of viewing pleasure and laughter. And so you're welcome. So you should subscribe.
Oh.
I think that's probably the most important thing before you even worry about what to eat. Make sure you give it a thumbs up and a subscribe.
We really do appreciate it, and it keeps us moving forward with this channel.
Yeah, because you don't want us to go dark come December, right? Do you?
Do you?
Do you?